Welcome to the Talking SHHH Podcast. That's right. We'll be talking about music, albums, live shows, bands we love, bands not so much. Again, we're talking SHHH. Join me, Scott Nokon, and Stephen James. Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 52, right? Are we up to 52, Stephen? So we teased this topic on our last episode, and we just never got around to it. But we're going to get right into it, Stephen. We're not going to mess around.
Let's not
at all. We're not going to mess around at all.
Let's
we
not.
are. And now I just drew a blank as far as what are we doing here?
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that was good. I liked that.
That was a really crappy version of vibrato.
Yeah. I was going to change your name.
I'm going to try to
Here we go.
No,
I'm not going to give you a silly name. I'm just going to give you.
You can, because I'm the scapegoat for everything, and I don't give a flying fornication.
Yeah. So
I didn't say that. Well,
no,
I did.
You didn't. Yeah.
Hello, Scott Nokon, Stephen
yes.
James. Here we are on episode 52.
It's 52. Yep.
Talk about what, Scott?
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Let's go.
Specifically, who was just voted in as the inductees, which will be presented as a show later this year, and we'll give you all the details. But what I would like to do, Stephen, and just speak to this freely, is who was selected. Okay,
not Ace Frehley.
No, Ace Frehley was actually is Ace in?
No,
it's part of no.
No, he's not part of it, unfortunately.
No. Yeah, that's kind of wild. Anyway, so a hot topic for sure, and not the store, but a hot topic for sure when it comes to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I won't recap all of it, I promise, not this time, but go back and watch a few episodes prior where we broke down kind of the mechanics of the voting, who's on the selection committee, kind of pulled back some of the layers, right? Peel back the onion somewhat to get a little bit more of for something that we don't really appreciate at all, at least a better appreciation, a better understanding of what the F is going on with this.
Yeah, this group. Why we have to actually, one of our shows, we should divulge into why is it there's so much ugliness with it, because I've heard several bands talk about like this, that, the other. I'm like, whether is it because they got snubbed or I don't understand it. I've heard it over the past 5-6 years, like, oh, it's ugly, and I'm like, I don't understand. So maybe you and I can do some investigation on.
And we did a little bit of that. We did a little bit of that, and it was more so about and I promise I'll spend 30 seconds on this because I want to get into this topic for sure. But it more related or more tied into who was part of the committee. So the selection committee, is it very limited? Well, it is. It's like a tiny number, it's like a football team. So that's kind of interesting. And then is there payola tied to it, if that still exists in some form or fashion?
Doesn't surprise me.
And then in regard to that, what is the voting? And one thing, and I'll just hit on this because I thought this was interesting, and probably this is notable, tied into the fan vote. So we're going to reveal the inductees momentarily, Stephen. But the fan vote was exactly that, the fan. But if you look at the count, so who won that? Just not bury the lead. Fish won the fan vote. They had nearly 330,000 votes. So when that was finished, and that was about 50,000 more than the next highest band, which was Bad Company. But winning the fan vote doesn't guarantee induction, doesn't guarantee at all. They didn't make it. Essentially, and this is what I heard, so this is kind of one piece of the reveal, Stephen, that you could have, let's say you finish number one in the fan vote. You got 100,000 votes, you have 330,000 like Fish, you have 2 million. It still equates to one vote when it comes down to the overall selection. So it's really more so just, hey, as a fan, go ahead and put in a vote. But in this case, your vote doesn't matter. 300,000 fan fans of Phish, I'll get through this, probably thought, oh, well, son of a gun, look, they finished number one in the fan vote. They're a shoo-in. Not even close. Not even close. So it's to kind of demonstrate, maybe prop up some popularity. And, Phish certainly isn't the most popular band out of all those.
But there's other bands though that are equally as good or better than Phish. One of those bands, and people are going to be like, who, what? It's like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. People are like, who? Go watch a YouTube video of this band and you'll be like, what? These guys just shred. And you're like, Phish is like probably the mushroom version of Dave Matthews Band.
Sure.
Not to say that they're bad. I'm not talking crap about any of them, the music and stuff, but there's other bands that create an amazing experience. And my brother turned me on to them, King Gizzard and the Wizard Blizzard. If you guys ever get a chance, check it out. You would be way surprised at what these guys can do versus Phish.
Yeah. So enough of that, right? Because Phish didn't make it. No. That's fine. It did the jam band piece for sure. That matters. So let's get right into it.
Let's go.
We'll talk about those that were inducted, and there is a couple categories. So I think this is also something to know. And this is, I'll call it the more traditional category, the performer category. So there's 7 artists that are going to be honored for their impactful contributions to music.
Okay.
Let me run through these first and then comment, Stephen.
I will.
Bad Company, British supergroup known for classic rock staples like Feel Like Making Love and Can't Get Enough.
Yep.
Kind of interesting, the 2 song titles together.
Yeah.
You can't feel like making love, but can't get enough. Okay,
good.
Chubby Checker. The Twist.
Let's go.
Right? The Twist.
Let's go.
Dance music, really. Back in the day when you went to a school dance, right? They still happen, but in that, the classic from the 50s, that really sparked a whole global dance craze. So this is probably something long overdue. Influential impact in music, all that. Joe Cocker, soulful singer.
For sure, Joe Cocker.
Gritty voice, memorable covers with a little help from my friends.
What would you do?
Yeah, awesome sounding. This, I know you're a fan of this next one, Cyndi Lauper.
Love Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah, trailblazer on the pop side. Girls want to have fun time after time. Distinctive voice and the persona and the personality, all that together was pretty awesome.
Just a fucking amazing voice.
This band I wasn't sure about, but then I talked to some friends and even my wife weighed in on it and said, no, they're definitely, influential for sure. Outkast. Innovative hip hop duo from Atlanta, blending funk, jazz, and soul into their genre defining sound.
I only know of one song that's very popular that they did. I don't know of any others, but Outkast.
But go back and listen to that. There's I'll say there was like 3, like Miss Jackson, and then Hey Yeah, which was all over, every.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Soundgarden. I love Soundgarden. I even being a fan and loving Chris Cornell, in this case, obviously they got enough votes, and I'm not essing on. I'm certainly not talking S about Soundgarden, but I guess in a way it's how much did they shape other bands? But in this one, they said they shaped the alternative rock scene. And
agreed.
And as a performer, absolutely. Songs incredible. So what some of the other bands that are in there, this is not a metal band, but definitely a hard rock band.
Yeah.
This
Chris
one,
Cornell.
This band, this is last of the performer category, the White Stripes.
Come on.
Jack and Meg White. I'm like, all right. Known for their raw sound and minimalistic style. Okay. I'm not really sure, they're referred to on this description as garage rock revival. Wow, that too. Jesus. Revivalist. Okay, I can get through it. I can get through that, Stephen. Yeah. Okay, I don't know. I've never heard, we talk to everybody, right? But I've never heard someone say, oh, that Jack White guy. Now, again, it's not a style that I follow. That Seven Nation Army is played at every sporting event. So if that pulls out some influence, right, then okay, if you're measuring, influence and popularity and impact based on that. But yeah, okay. Two other categories. These, I guess, are the, by this one, special honor. So there's a musical influence award, Warren Zevon.
I get it.
These are, and this I don't know. Well, what I understand, Stephen, we talked about this on some of the past episodes, that these maybe could be pushed or designated maybe by a individual within the voting, committee. I almost say community, but it's not. It's so small. It's really just a committee that does it. But Warren Zevon Musical Excellence Award. And you commented earlier, like, I didn't recognize, like a quarter of these guys.
Yeah.
Tom Bell, Nicky Hopkins, and
I
Carol
don't.
Kay.
I mean, even Salt and Pepper, I get.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right. They were part of musical influence as well. But
I'm a huge fan. I mean, some of the stuff that they put out, again, Scott and I are fucking metal guy. Well, geez,
no, you're good.
Get
You're
word
good.
down. Scott and I are fucking metal guys. We get this and we get that. And there's sometimes when we hear music and we go, you know what? That's some good shite. And Salt and Pepper, to me, there's a couple songs where I'm like, you know what? I get it. I like it. I don't shun any music. I'm all about, like, you know what? This song makes it rock. That song makes it rock. This song makes you feel good. That song makes you feel good. You know what? It's all about taste. And we are musicians and we don't discriminate against anything. We are like, hey, you know what? That's some good shit.
But we will question sometimes if things don't make sense, right? And I think it's appropriate in this setting. And let me finish the last one, if I may. Steve.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. The Emmett Erdogan Award. So he was a producer, record label executive. Lenny
Kravitz. I'm sorry.
Warnaker. He's a record executive and producer, so he's acknowledged for his influential role in the music industry. Okay, yeah. Again, it's a special designation for that. Let's get into who didn't make it, who did not make the cut.
Oh, so I don't have that list. So I'm excited. Let's hear.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to say Judas Priest, but didn't they already get?
They already got in. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and they made it through that special, the musical excellence, I believe, is the category that they got in for. So again, it wasn't part of the, I'll call it the core performer category. You kind of had to have a, hey, by the way, let's put these, it's like, let's give somebody a ribbon for 5th place, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, I'm looking at
not
the list,
even included.
Like, I don't understand half of them, but whatever. I mean, it. They if they're on the list, they deserve something. So,
right. And we're not talking about on this one. Sorry, I'm just moving around some screens here, Stephen. On this, we're not talking about bands that were completely snubbed as part of nominees. We're talking about those that were inducted. So those are the artists that were inducted, and we're talking about the show later this year when it's going to be on the television. These are artists that were nominated but not inducted. Mariah Carey, nominated, not inducted. Yeah, I get it. Oasis, you made the comment, which I completely agreed with, and their tour starts, at least in the States, in probably late summer, maybe the fall, because I know they're playing stadiums on a number of dates. But it seemed to be more convenient that they made it onto a nomination list based on, they're back in the press, right? They're back making some noise again versus what they truly did or didn't do, given that. Right. Great band, yes. Great songs. Hall of Fame worthy? Well, not this year. Not this year. Joy Division and New Order. They kind of grouped those together. It's crossover of band members, so I get that association. The aforementioned Fish, who won the fan vote, which doesn't mean Billy Idol, kind of on the fence, like he's cool. He's actually coming in probably another month or two. Next couple months, he'll be playing at the arena
Still doing
kind of a
still-
resurgence.
yeah.
So that's cool. I think Joan Jett is opening. So that's total flashback to the 80s. So that
Yeah.
should be a fun night to go to. And maybe you'll be in town, Stephen. The Black Crows, who are a couple of them live here now. And I think we're kind of raised in the Franklin, Brentwood area. Again, strong band. That first record was phenomenal. So many hits off that. But again, overall, Mana, huge band, on the Latin Grammys, they clean up and probably clear up, but clean up year after year after year. Really great musicians. I know you commented on them. You have probably a little bit more knowledge and information and just familiarity with at least probably their drummer, right, Stephen, than anything else. But yeah, you certainly know who they are. But yeah, didn't break through.
No.
I'm okay with those that didn't make it. Overall, kind of let's reflect on the list again. I think Bad Company, that was, you could say it was long overdue. I don't have the exact years that they were nominated, but as we discussed prior, it's 25 years after your first release. So they came out in, even if it was 75, let's say that they've been eligible for the last, 25 years. So
yeah, I agree.
Chubby Checker's been eligible for the last probably 50 years.
Yep.
Joe Cocker, maybe close to that. Cyndi Lauper, 84, 82, 83, 84 is when she kind of came out. So she would have been, another 20 years. Outkast was early 2000s. Soundgarden came in, 90, 91, White Stripes is early 2000s, clearly to be 25. So okay, the list is overall, that's fine. Depending on who's going to, because, obviously Chubby Checker has passed away. Joe Cocker has passed away. Chris Cornell, of course, has passed away.
Unfortunately.
So I am intrigued to see who performs. I did enjoy when Ozzy was inducted as a solo artist, which again took forever, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Kelly Clarkson, Jelly Roll, and one other represented, and that was cool. That was, I thought, all good representations.
For sure.
The show is going to be the induction ceremony, November 8th, 2025. It's going to be at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles. The ceremony will stream live on Disney Plus, and also a special airing on ABC at a later date. And be good for our listeners to know, Stephen, available on Hulu the following day. So
how about that?
If you don't, usually if you have Disney Plus, there's probably a package you have Hulu. So you'll be able to check it out. So in this description right here, it's characterized as this year's inductees reflect a rich tapestry of musical innovation and cultural influence spanning genres from rock and pop to hip hop and soul. Legacies continue to resonate, shaping the soundscape of contemporary music.
Let's go.
Okay. Again, do we have to like and buy everything that they're selling us on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Of course not. Again, check out some older episodes. And to your point, Stephen, we could probably dig in a little bit more of a expose in the future for sure. Because I think there's still a few things we can talk about. But in that, so I'm sure you have the list in front of you as well.
I do.
And you want to. I've kind of monopolized this, so I'm gonna take a respite and let you kind of speak to the bands. Maybe start with Bad Company, and again, anyone you feel like kind of adding a little bit more of the Stephen James flair to it, please.
I think for me, for sure, Bad Company, because when you hear Bad Company, you listen to that. They play it on KLOS all the time. Bad Company till the day I die. I don't know who the next guy is. Chubby Checker for sure. I mean, OG back in the 80s, which was that Joe Cocker, did just such an amazing job with a lot of the OG songs that he took out of his versions of What Would You Do?
Yeah.
Carol Kane or Carol K? Shit. Sorry. That's not the one I was thinking about. Cyndi Lauper for sure. And you mentioned that earlier because Cyndi Lauper, her voice is just, if you go back to her first versions, live songs. Even to this day, yeah, they may tune down for her to pull it off, but she just kills it. Outcast, yep. Salt and Pepper for sure. Soundgarden, absolutely. Jesus Christ, that band. Chris Cornell is unfortunately has passed, but he has created such an amazing song singing style that grows beyond a lot of people that don't understand that version. I know you get that, Scott.
Yeah.
And the White Stripes, I'm going to go back to, it's kind of fun. It's kind of silly stuff, and Warren Zevon for sure, another iconic guy that does an amazing amount of music. When you look at this list, for me, I just go, okay, I don't kind of get it. And I kind of get it, but I think that, and as you and I have talked about before on the whole Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, is that there's some weird stuff that's going on there. We don't understand who's running it, but we saw that Kiss had some issues with it. Rush had some issues with it. But you know what? When it comes down to looking at these amazing musicians, there are a handful that just are stellar. And I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but we look at this and we read these musicians as who they are and what they've put out.
Yeah.
And I'm always excited to see who will pull us off on this next vote. So
yeah, definitely. So let me give some fun facts on here, Stephen, if I may, some stats. So pulled up based on those nominees in the performance or the performer category, again, listed in the order that we just went through. So this is total estimated sales worldwide and their top albums. So we got Bad Company, 20 million. Kind of thought maybe it would be more, but 20, nothing wrong with 20 million.
No.
Bad Company, 1974 was their first record. So, in that a good 25 years plus they've been eligible to be inducted. Can't Get Enough, again, Straight Shooter and Sive includes Feel Like Making Love. So great tracks, just great rock tracks, right? Really good sounding. Chubby Checker, over 15 million records.
Damn.
The Twist. Yeah, the only song, here's a little additional with the factoids and stats, Stephen. This is the only song, The Twist, that is, the only song to reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 2 separate chart runs, 1960 and again in 1962.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Joe Cocker, over 20 million. Mad Dogs and Englishmen, 1970, and Sheffield Steel.
Crazy.
Again, I know who Joe Cocker is. What was that movie? Deborah Winger and Richard Gere, Officer and a Gentleman, right? Wasn't that a huge song? I think that was 82, so probably off Sheffield Steel. Did you think we'd throw out Officer and a Gentleman and Richard Gere on this show? No. Cyndi Lauper, 50 million plus. 1983, She's So Unusual. That record just broke through, was all over MTV. Girls Just Want to Have Fun, Time After Time. Yeah. True Colors in 86, again, a fantastic record. Outcast, over 25 million. Stankonia, that's in 2000, that's Miss Jackson. Great song if you haven't listened to it. Yep. And then Speakerbox, The Love Below in 2003. Hey Yeah, that was everywhere, right?
That's a great song.
Soundgarden, over 14 million, 25 million worldwide. That's 14 million
insane.
In the States, 25 worldwide. Bad Motorfinger, 91. Super Unknown. I almost got through this, Steve. In 94. I love their whole catalog. So, but those two stand out. In White Stripes, 6 million. Again, out of all those, the less amount of sales, not surprising at all. 6 in the States, 13 million worldwide.
Insane.
Again, we talked Seven Nation Army. By far, their number one song that came in the 2003 release, Elephant, and then White Blood Cells came out in 2000.
And just a quick little fun fact that Seven Nation Army he didn't understand how to say Salvation Army.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So that's how he came up with that.
Look at you dropping those little fun facts.
Salvation Army. Yeah. Pretty cool.
So collectively, sometimes, and maybe we'll eventually get into, I know we always tease future topics and we'll get to it, but Best Picture, so like in the Oscars and Best Picture, there's a lot of movies that maybe aren't that good to who you're talking to, but certainly not commercially viable, successful.
Right.
In this, collectively, these artists have sold over 170 million records globally.
That's amazing.
So from a sales perspective, from a performance standpoint, their songs, from what they represented in each of their genres. I don't know, Stephen, I went from kind of like, to I'm with it to I think this is a good list. I think this is
I agree.
A strong list.
I agree. 100%.
Yeah. So I guess with most things, if you kind of talk through it a number of times, maybe that falls right into recency bias, right? We've been looking at the list and we've been reading different articles, but again, Bad Company, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, Soundgarden, and the White Stripes. That is, those are your 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees.
Let's go.
Yeah.
For sure.
However, Stephen, who is our Hall of Fame inductee?
Jeff Tate?
Oh. Every show.
Yeah.
Close.
For sure.
Is Wheelie Q Barbecue.
Let's go. Yeah. We gotta support for sure.
So I and actually, you know what? I have the shirt and I should have worn it tonight, so I'll wear it next time, Colin. I will wear the shirt next time, but just got some I got a shirt
talking,
I got some stuff in the mail, and we're going to be doing probably some giveaways in the coming weeks related to Wheelie Q. So again, you can check them out at Wheelie Q Barbecue. That's WHEELYQ.com. Great products. So back when Colin and Kyla were hand filling, and I lost Stephen, by the way, if you're watching the video, he took off, but he'll be back. Filling hundreds of barbecue sauce bottles in their kitchen, they had two simple yet powerful goals: craft a delicious barbecue sauce from simple, honest ingredients and use their business to make a difference, which they have. Absolutely. That's how Wheelie Q Barbecue came to life. There's Stephen coming back now.
There we go. Sorry.
Colin, he was born with spinal muscular atrophy, SMA. There's the barbecue sauce. There it is.
Sorry. There we go.
Wheelie Q sauce. Great, good sauce. I got the rub, so I'll use that.
That's my second bottle, by the way. I've already used the first one.
Yeah, and you just drink it. You just open it up and just drink it. Do it right now. What will you do it for us, Stephen? Will you drink it?
Sure.
When Colin's condition forced him to quit his job in 2013, he didn't give up. Instead, he turned all his passion for barbecue into a thriving family business. There's the SPG. Yeah, Wheelie Q Barbecue isn't just about great flavor. It's about raising awareness for SMA and donating a portion of profits to fund research for a cure. So when you buy these products, and even if you use the TSP20 for 20% off, we invite you to do it. Colin was gracious enough to give that discount. You'll still have a portion of the profits go over to SMA for their research. Today, Wheelie Q Barbecue is producing their original recipe barbecue sauce, which Stephen had in his hand just a moment ago. Thousands of those bottles have been sold. They expanded their product line to barbecue rub, which I have downstairs in the kitchen, and then salt, pepper, and garlic seasoning, SPG, which Stephen was also showcasing.
I did on burgers. I did on burgers yesterday. It was
that's awesome.
Amazing flavor.
And I need to get the ancho espresso seasoning, so I'll put in another order for that.
Me too.
But at Wheelie Q, every bottle supports a greater flavor. Wow, a greater flavor cause? It does. It supports a greater cause. And every seasoning will elevate the flavor of anything you cook, as Stephen had with his burgers yesterday.
I'm trying to get this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the
trying to open it.
Here
He's
we
going
go.
to drink it.
I got it.
But, again, support Wheelie Q Barbecue, support Colin and Kyla.
Please.
One delicious meal at a time.
Oh my God,
Again,
it tastes so good.
yeah, right there. It's on it. Okay, now pour it all over. No, just wait. I don't want to get kicked off the air.
I don't wreck my trunks, but here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Let's have a
He's
sip.
going to do it.
It truly is the best barbecue sauce I've ever tasted.
That is all. See, like, again, guys, tuning in, how many are drinking Wheelie Q
It
barbecue
tastes so
sauce?
good.
You just did it. You just did it. That's awesome.
So good. It's
So-
smoky. It's so
Excuse
amazing.
me. Chokes me up. I'm loving it. But WheelieQ.com, that's WHEELYQ.com.
And Colin and Kayla.
Yeah, Colin and Kayla, awesome folks. Coupon
Amazing
code
people.
TSP20, you get 20% off. It goes towards a great cause. They got t-shirts, and they're running a special right now. At least they were. I think it's still up there. Buy one, get one for the barbecue sauce. So again, you're in the spring. It's good weather most places. Do what you can. So guys,
Tastes
this
so
was
good.
Talking. We did the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We did the inductees for 2025. Leave your comments below. Let us know what you think about that list. And we'll be back talking about Motley Crue next week, talking about Metallica and the 2 nights in Nashville.
Yeah.
And Steven, as always, I appreciate your time. I appreciate
Love you,
your
brother.
input. I appreciate you and everybody
Appreciate
else.
you too.
Guys, check us out anywhere you stream. Find us on YouTube. Buy some merchandise. Go to I had to look. I forgot for a second. 99WNRR.com.
Yeah, let me just take.
You got a second. You make it quick.
I know, real quick.
Yeah.
Scott does on Tuesdays. 9WNRR.com. Go to our page. He'll link the post to it. Check out his show on Tuesdays. It's amazing.
Yeah. No, appreciate it. Yeah. So a lot going on. Exciting time. We got new music coming. We'll have new shows coming.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Probably a fresh line of merchandise, Steven, maybe a new design that's going to come out.
New No Count
summertime.
music, by the way.
Yeah, all that. So, guys, as always, we appreciate it. And until next time, see ya. Thanks again for tuning in to the show. We'll be back every week with a brand new episode. Make sure you check us out on Instagram at Talking SHHH Show, and also listen on Spotify or wherever you can stream a podcast. See ya.